Greetings. I hope you're keeping all right. It's February. If you've not seen me or haven't seen you, happy new month. Very exciting. This year is going to be one of those quickest ones. My friend used to go out with this woman many years ago, and he was telling me this story in a deep distress years back. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because Valentine's is around the corner so that you will act accordingly, especially if you're in a relationship. I want us to have a quick chat today about Valentine's Day do's and don'ts. Yes, because there are horror stories out here. People have things they do to their significant others that can be quite distressful. My name is Eric, and this is Eric Stories. Feel most welcome. If you're new here, I celebrate you. Thank you so much. It's always delightful that you find time every other day to just, give me your ear, lend me your ear and listen. And for you who's kind to always post a comment or slide into my DM, I love to hear your mind about all of this stuff. So don't hold back. Sendio, my friend was dating this woman. He was telling me this story. I wasn't there. Valentine's Day of that year, many years back, this is 10, 11, 12 years ago, they dated for just maybe 2 years. And he decided that, oh my goodness, I don't want to be a dad, so that I am discussed in her group of friends the way I didn't do anything. I was non-participatory, or I exempted myself from these big celebrations. So what did he do? He drove her to a very nice, fancy restaurant. But early in the day, he bought a very nice watch. All this while, she didn't know. And so he had a bouquet of flowers. And when they were about to eat, of course, he gave her the flowers. And, I think they ate, and then dessert came. And then he gave her, he reached for his jacket. And this watch was strapped very nicely in a nice box. So he reached for his jacket and said, oh, babe, by the way, happy Valentine's Day. This is for you. And so he thought, she's going to be very happy. And she's like, oh my God, you shouldn't have. Oh, baby, baby. So this woman takes it. She's pensive for a minute or two. She's like, what is it? She's like, open it. It's yours. So she opens it. And then her demeanor just changes from semi-excited to utter disgust. And she says to him in a lot of anger, her voice was very angry, almost shouty. Like, what do you want with me, John? What is your problem? Is it that you don't have money? I kid you not, true story. And the guy is like, what are you on about? He's like, I want a ring. I want a ring. I want a ring. I want a ring. Can I lend you money to buy the ring? Imagine, true story. And so when he was telling me I was looking at the city limits and being very pensive. I was like, wow, it's gotten to that. Like, people demand for rings now. Amazing stuff. They got married. I think they've been married now for 15 years. So that woman knew what she wanted. But be that as it may, sometimes we have expectations that cannot be met. And high expectations sometimes can cause such high disappointments. So if you're in a relationship, and Valentine's is just a couple of days away, I think, and I beseech you with humility, to have very sensible expectations. And that is one of the things I think is a do. Do have a realistic expectation around what you might receive or what you might not receive, and even how you will celebrate. If you've known somebody for 8 months, for the love of God, it's quite unrealistic to expect a ring, no? But you could save yourself all these imaginations that you have in your mind. You've traveled to Nanyuki in your head, or you're somewhere lying on your back on the sand at the coast of Lamu, and you've not communicated that. So maybe if you are able to have lengthy discussions around your expectations, it will curb a lot of disappointments. Talk about what you expect and what Valentine means to you, especially if it's a fairly new relationship. Even if it's not new, maybe 2 years like my friend, then just say, Valentine is a big deal for me, by the way, babe, and I hope for the love of God you have something figured out. You know why? Because it can be a less ideal time for some people, maybe financially or even in terms of availability. People have just celebrated the very big Christmas festivities and then Happy New Year, and maybe your birthday was in January, and all those were very big holidays that costed very huge amounts of money. So maybe I would say it suffices to discuss your expectations. Talk about them. Talk about them. Talk about how you yearn for a road trip out of town so that you'll do all of your do's in the very nice, chilly Nanyuki regions, and how you expect that it does something. What do you think about that? I think it's very important. Can you imagine screaming in a restaurant? The guy is thinking, oh, we're cool. She'll totally dig this watch because it has gold straps. And you're thinking, you man, I need a ring. All right? So that's the first thing in my mind. Number two, don't let what happens on Valentine's Day define your relationship, for the obvious reasons that not everybody, some people aren't into the Hallmark holidays really, or big hoo-has around things like Valentine's. That's just how the way they are. Really, that's just how the way they are. I, for one, started celebrating my birthday well in my almost mid-20s. It wasn't a big thing in my family growing up. Really, it wasn't. I think it was, I never really celebrated my birthday. It wasn't our thing. It really wasn't. And so when I started dating, one time, this woman told me, I think it was my 22nd, and she said, so when's your birthday? And it's just like, I think June. What do you mean you think? So like June 6th. And oh my word, so she went out and got a cake and got me a frame because that's how she was brought up. It wasn't big in my household, at least in my mother's house, that people are very celebratory of their birthday. We were celebrating Christmas and such like things. So not everybody goes out of their way to celebrate Hallmark holidays. So sometimes your significant other is like that. So then, don't let it define your relationship. I love you, all right. We didn't go to Bora Bora. But guess what? I love you just the way you were, girl. It's true. We didn't go to Seychelles, and we haven't driven the whole night to the middle of Timbuktu so that we can get lost in each other's eyes in the gaze of, the night under the skies. So yes, it doesn't mean I love you less. I love you, and there are many other ways I could show my love for you, and in many other days other than just this one particular day. Especially if you've never discussed it. Maybe this is your first Valentine together. Don't assume. Don't assume that he's supposed to figure it all out. After all, who doesn't know that Valentine's is a big holiday? I mean, it's just quiet. It's not even candy. It's just quiet. I mean, it's going to 10 o'clock. Oh my God. So find a way that you both can celebrate in a comfortable way, a sensible way. I think it's important. Third and final thing, don't spend beyond your means. I've read a wonderful book. You should read it. I think James Clear, again, Atomic Habits, I've proposed it before. He makes a wonderful remark in the book. He says that most people imitate three categories of people. People imitate the powerful, the Obamas and Michelles of this world, presidents and kings. They're very close, the people you sit next to in your office or even your relations. And then the powerful, the close, and there's a third thing. The powerful, the close, and what else? Eric, come on. Three things. It will come to me. So if you're given to imitating, sometimes you see everybody buying a bouquet of flowers, and maybe a significant other doesn't like flowers. And now florists hike the prices of flowers. So then what gives? So you end up spending a lot of money on a bouquet of flowers, which is not even liked or even loved or appreciated. So she's just going to take it because everybody on the streets is taking flowers and it's Valentine's Day, while she'd have done so much better with a pair of sneakers because she works out a lot. So if you bought her maybe Nikes, she'd be like, yay! And she'll, appreciate that gift longer. Not everybody also appreciates chocolate and wine. Some people just would prefer maybe a very nicely knit sweater, all right? So instead of spending all the money on these things that everybody is assumed to like, just have again a conversation around what it is that your significant other like. All right? The close, the many, and the powerful. The close, the many, and the powerful. I remembered. So those are the people a lot of people imitate. The close, the many, the powerful, according to James Clear. And sometimes we are given to just imitating, so that, you know, there are social cues and social norms that we are easily drawn to, not because we are really into the things that people are doing, but just so that we keep up with the Joneses. And so I thought to share those three with you. But above all, have conversations. We are very different people. Different things tick our fancy. Just talk about these things so that you don't sulk the following day on the 15th and you're just like, oh my God, you don't love me. He loves you or she loves you. Just maybe not the way you want to be loved. So then today, because you have a whole week before Valentine's, you can bring up these conversations. Tomorrow is Friday. Come through. We have a Friday live hangout on Instagram from 9 p.m. It's always so much fun. I cannot emphasize enough. On Saturday, we have a meet and greet for the few of us who are coming. Yay! And it's going to be exciting. But because of our diaspora community and Eric's stories, we have to go on with the live again tomorrow. So see you. Let me know what I may have skipped that is very important to talk about. And have yourself a lovely Thursday and speak to you soon. Good evening.